Hello everybody. And I had something that's happened before. It doesn't happen very often, but instead of making a deal out of it, I figured I would take the time to show you guys something, because it's something I don't ever do. I don't ever get new shrimp, and I need to make a video on how to acclimate your shrimp, your brand new shrimp. And there's going to be some very important things that I want to go over. So since this got shipped to sender, or I sent it to the person. What it was is they forgot to put their apartment number and their address. So I am going to send different shrimp out to this person. And before I make the video, I wanted to make sure they're still alive. They've been in the mail for 6 days. And everyone's looking just fine and dandy. Appears to be. Alright. And then we have, it's a Skittles pack. So there's 2 bags of shrimpies. So the first thing to remember, and I think this is something that a lot of people do not understand, is, or not know, just because how would you know? These are breather bags. And you can tell it's a breather bag because if you look, there's no air at all in this bag. And that's how breather bags are supposed to be. Now if you have like a poly bag and like just a little bit of it is water and it's over half air, then you can float those. But if you order shrimp or anything, it is going to, in a breather bag, then you're not gonna want to float these. You cannot float these. Do not float your breather bags to temperature acclimate. I want to show you how to acclimate, and the temperature and all that will all be taken care of in the process we are about to go through. And what you're going to need, you don't have to do this. Now, I've acclimated before. You need some kind of specimen container to put your shrimp in. And if you so desire, a bucket. And what you really want here, like I said, you don't have to have this. What you want here is some airline tubing with a valve, a gate valve, that you can open it up just a little bit or open it up all the way. And this is going to be the thing. Now you don't have to do this, and I'll talk about alternatives if you don't have this. And it's what I've usually done before in the past. But I figured if I want to make a video on how to acclimate shrimp, I want to show you how to do it the high-tech fancy way. And that involves one of these little valves and some airline. Alright, so now the shrimp are alive, and we know it. And so we got to get them out of the bag. That's the next step. Okay, so we've got our breather bag here, and we got a pair of scissors, and we have a container here. Got that cut open. Now we're going to want to make sure all the shrimpies come out of there, because it's going to be pretty easy for a shrimp to get left behind. And let's see, I think we got all those shrimpies. Let's see what they're looking. They look pretty good, I'd say. And we've got our other bag. Make sure we get all the insulation. There's some insulation in there. We want to get that out. It's not the end of the world. It's just cellulose. It's not harmful insulation in my case, how I ship. Okay, we got a little hole in the bag there. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay. Make sure we got them all. I do believe we did. And this person also ordered some moss. And I'm just going to resend that to him, because the moss will be just fine chilling in the bag. So, there's a Skittles pack of shrimp. There's a little bit of insulation right there. I'm going to get out. Oh, alright, we got the insulation out. So, I think these guys look pretty good. So now let's go on to acclimating. Alright, we got them in here. I got most of the moss removed. Everything is looking super good. These guys have been in the mail for 6 days and still looking fabulous. So, the next thing we are going to do is start getting the water in. Okay, so we got our airline tubing. And here's the end with the valve. We're going to stick this down into the tank that your shrimp are going to be going in. Then we're going to make sure our valve is open. Make sure we get a siphon here going. It's going to be a lot easier if I set this on the floor. So, alright, so we got that in there. Alright, so we've got the siphon started, I do believe. And now I'm going to open this up just a little bit. And now we have water dripping in. Very nice and slow. I'm going to close it just a little bit. So we just want it drip, 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 drip. This will temperature acclimate. And there, I shut it all the way off. And then we just want to get a little bit drip, drip, drip. You see that? And when this container is all the way full, then I'll show you what's next. Oh, and I was gonna say that if you don't have the it's still dripping, it's just running down the side. If you don't have this set up with the airline tubing and the valve, then what you can do is set your timer, set a watch or something. And I used to use a shot glass, and like every 10 or 15 minutes I would just take a little shot of glass of tank water, the tank that they're going in, and just bloop, put a little bit in. This is what we got going. So it doesn't have to be perfect like this. Now this is perfect. You let this drip till it's almost full, and then we'll get them out. But you don't just scoop them out. You don't just dump it in, because you do not want the shipping water to go in your tank. So you don't want someone else's shipping water to be in your tank. You don't know what kind of, even though this is my own tank water, so this is kind of pointless, but we're still gonna, I'm doing this to show you guys how to do it correctly. So, and like I said, the shot glass method works. That's how I used to always do my acclimations. Every 15 minutes I'd put in a shot glass of the tank that they're going in water, and then I do that every so often. And then usually you want this process to go a couple hours is ideal. A couple hours, it just depends, but more times than not, you're gonna be okay after a couple hours. Now I know there's some people out there go longer and longer and longer. I think if you try doing it for like, there's people that try to stretch it out over like days. And I think the shrimp need to get into good water. They don't need to. I mean, this shipping water is already pretty used up. So that's my advice. Now, I haven't bought any new shrimp in over 3.5 years, so I don't get to do this. So I'm going to take this opportunity of a return to sender shipment and show you guys how to do this. Alright, we'll check back in when this is filled up. So I later ended up getting better shots of the shots I was getting earlier to show the setup. There are the shrimp chilling in the container. There's the tank water dripping in. Nice and slow. All the shrimp look happy. I'm sure they're stressed a little bit, but they'll be just fine. And here is the part going into the tank. Like I said, I haven't bought the shrimp in 3.5 years, so I always just use the shot glass method. Okay, and now remember that 5-gallon bucket I said we needed? We're going to do this, get most of the water out. Oh, there goes the first shrimp. And you can see we got our shrimpies in there. And we got them all out. And here we are, back at the Skittles tank. I don't have much room here to do this, but here we go. 6 days in the mail, being returned to sender, back to where they started. Looking just fine and dandy. I don't see any problem at all with any of them, so no harm, no foul. So I know this video wasn't the best, but I was like, oh, my daughter called me when I was at work today. She said, you have a box come here, it's a return to sender thing. I was like, oh, and I thought, that'll be a video. So I just come home from work, got these guys unboxed, and made this video real quick. So I hope you guys got the idea of it, even if the video wasn't the best. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.